Oh man, sorry about being so late, but we're back. We are finally back. As you can see, I have no suit jacket because I kind of outgrown even the Brooks Brothers one somehow magically. I grown it with wise actually, so I'm becoming more trapezoid shape or something like that, which is very unfortunate. I always outgrow stuff, probably because I'm autistic, and autistic leads to abilities that some people will probably consider natural, like always growing taller, and I guess wider. Not wider like this, not wider like that, wider like actually in the shoulder blade area, kind of wider. But anyway, so how have you been? I know why it's there, by the way. Yeah, it's been a while since I did one of these. Probably a little over a month, I hope, instead of a few months. But we are now on preview 2. We're now on preview 2 of Arbitrium Core 1, Core-1, a Fantasy Historical Edition. And this month, June of 2024, we're going to finally release another full-on build 0.3.2. And I have some ideas for it, as well as just the general edits that are going on, and the general updates I've been doing to the game. I kind of want to add charts back in. I've been deeming it every month. I've noticed something. I've kind of getting a feel for how to actually GM the game. Just been GMing it with at least 4 people, if not 6. And yeah, it's taking a while, but I'm finally getting the hang of it. Of course, it's going to always happen, but like, it just was. I finally got it now. Also, I want to add a quick start guide to the back of the player character sheet, because that just seems like a good idea to do. I mean, you're supposed to you're supposed to just go down, after, you're supposed to write, like the bottom thing is for, bottom thing is for your equipment and notes and stuff, your abilities, and you're supposed to write on the back. But I have a feeling a quick start sheet, or a quick handy sheet to go over some. I mean, do you really need that when you got the combat rules? Not really, I guess. And I can always add to the back of the combat rule. I can always add back to the combat core moves. The RPG core moves. Yeah, that's probably what I should do instead. That would make more sense. Like what's the unique characteristics to each trait and how they work, and how the roles work for the RPG part. Now it makes sense adding to the back of the core moves. That'll make more sense, I think. But anyway, so in the last version, like I said, version 2, preview 2 of 0.3.2, edits as normal. I did the Dracokin. Finally, we finally have dragon people in the game. Essentially, what they are is they're really overpowered. They're kind of overpowered as just a combatant, as just a level 1, no equipment, no ability combatant. Beyond that, they can't level up. They can't character level up at all. So they probably can't even add traits if I had a rule making it so you can only add traits at character levels. But then again, that's not really in the spirit of the game. Like, you should be able to add traits whenever you feel like it. If you have experience, if you have XP, might as well add. You can always add traits. That just feels more to the game, so that may not come to pass. But still. I've added Huntsman the Heritage, where you get a signature weapon and a magic ability, just like the Ruby Huntsman and Huntresses. Added mass, carry level, and total space for people that want to have inventory. You can have inventory. And also adds mass for the balloons to the left. And yeah. So I also kind of want to add charts back in, especially now that I've started being able to DM, figure out exactly how I'm DMing. I want to add traits back in. I mean, not traits. That's already in the game. I want to add charts back in, random rule charts back in that I've always wanted to add, but I never quite figured out exactly how. And I'm going to be doing it based on the D6. So you got the coin. You got minimum of 3, and then you go every 6. So the minimum chart will be 3. A normal chart will be 6. And a big chart would be 12, a bigger chart would be 24, stuff like that. And then with 24 you roll 3 dice, with 12 you roll 2 dice, and with 6 you roll 1 dice. And with 3 you just double the results into one of the 3. Or one of the 3 choices is a result, or one of the 3 choices. Each choice is 2 results. There we go. And yeah, that's all that was added in this version. And yeah. Now, in other news, I want to kind of go over what we did last time, because I'm not writing them down anymore. And I want to go over them on camera anyway. I haven't been going them over on camera at all. I really should, because they're fun. So let me try remembering what exactly we did last time. We did last time in our adventures at D3 Games Collectibles in Orange Park, Florida. Okay, because people were late and people were missing, we decided to go on a new adventure. So the vampire, the gremlin, and the dwarf were hanging out at the tavern, just as you do. The gremlin is always getting in trouble, trying to do gremlin things, such as eat his way across realities. And this time, well, he decided to go looking for another mark in the tavern. By the way, it's the tavern, not the tavern, the tavern. The tavern place, the tavern, autonomous place to be, of course, as its full title. And they were in just the tavern's common area, or what was it called? The host. Yeah, they were in the host, and the gremlin walked up. He went far in the tavern. Because they are era 3 out of 10 eras. Era 1 is essentially Stone Age, tribal, stuff like that. Stone Age and before. Stone Age and before. Then Era 2 is Bronze Age to late medieval. Era 3 is Renaissance. Era 4 is early modern, so World War I, World War II. Yeah, World War I, World War II. To I want to say 1950, so mid-Cold War. Then modern, which is mid-Cold War, modern day to, let's say 20, the current year, essentially, to the 2020s. Era 6 is near future. which is Expanse and all that, which is essentially, I guess, like this century, like Battlefield 2142 will also be near future, I feel. All the way up to Expanse, and Expanse is its own thing in near sci-fi, in just normal sci-fi, and I should probably look at theirs. I should probably look at theirs while talking about them. Hold on. Because I always get them wrong, is the thing. I always get them wrong. But the thing, but each era, essentially, it's a balancing mechanic, so it's a balancing mechanic, an easy way to tell exactly where you are, and where you are in the tech tree, kind of thing. Oh, no, I got that wrong. Okay. Era 3 is Renaissance, 4 is pre-modern, 5 is 20th century, 6 is modern, 7 is near future, 8 is middle future, 9 is distant future, 10 is end of time. Year 3000 kind of thing in sci-fi, usually. Or at least was. And then Star Trek kind of boosted it up. Then Star Trek recently boosted up to the 32nd century. But anyway, so yeah, so essentially this gremlin, which is an actual gremlin, decided to go far, and he rolled 1d6 just to see how far he wanted to go in the tavern. And he rolled a 6. So he was going to go very, very far. And there are two directions he could have gone. He could have gone to Era 1, where the Bronze Age adventurers are. Or he could have gone to Era 10. Because those are the extremes of the eras. And that's how the tavern kind of works. It's all based on what each GM or whatever feels like what the tavern should be. So this isn't really written in stone. But so he went far in the tavern. The farther you go, the more distant. Essentially, the tavern owner clusters each era of adventurers closer together, and the farther you go, the more distant you are going in time. To adventurers that are in Era 10. And in Era 10, he found a young princely man and tried to rob him, but that wasn't going to happen. Because they rolled rather equally to each other. And the princely man was able to stop him doing that, but they had a discussion, and essentially it ended up as the princely kid decided to give the gremlin, the vampire who has now showed up, and one of their friends, and the dwarf, a suit of standard armor for Era 10. Me guessing, because I don't know. I'm not there yet in the game development. I just wanted to test and see what concepts could be in that time frame. So they grab their armor. So they grab their armors and headed out. And see, this is the problem I'm having, just in general, is I don't like retelling the stories because I don't really remember them all that well, and they're just hurting my brain right now. But that was essentially the first thing is the Gremlin decided to go far in the tavern. So far, he went to era 10. Found a guy who didn't want to give up money or food, but found a guy who wanted to give up, who had effectively infinite amount of era 10 armor. Era 10 basic armor. So that's what he gave them. The vampire didn't want to use that at first. The dwarf was extremely curious, and the gremlin was having the time of his life with the new armor. So we went back to the table to do their mission. Help find a princess of a kingdom. Help find a princess of an era 3 kingdom who got captured by the underground people. So that's what they did. They exited their mission, got spawned into a tavern as always, and went into the castle, talked to the king, and started a long hike, a several-week hike out to the underground people. During this time, I, as the GM, was getting asked all these questions about the armor, and we were fleshing it out as we went. Not that they knew that I didn't. They knew I was completely pulling this out of nowhere. But essentially, essentially what this armor can do is it's really, really, really smart armor. In every way that you can imagine it is. Not only can it display a HUD without you wearing a helmet or anything, not only does it look like a 3-piece suit most of the time, just in general, it's my natural state, like a perfectly well-crafted 3-piece suit. But you can also transform into any clothing or armor you want of up to armor 50. When we go to armor 50, it goes you lower your AP in half. Essentially, you lower your AP in half and you lower your endurance to half. Or you go speed armor and double it, but lower your armor to 0. Or you can go stealthy, have your armor to 0, but are now able to go invisible, or at least effective invisibility. Not to the armors themselves, but to literally anyone else, because they pulled this out on an era 3 world. So they now make us an underground tavern of this kingdom called Action F. Or Action X. Wait, hold on. Action ETH. Let's just say that for now. And then also when they walked out and started their adventure, they noticed when they looked out of the sun and saw the world curving up like this for hundreds of thousands of millions of miles up into the sky and hundreds of miles to either end, and they saw the yellow sun in the middle of the sky, and the stars above that, and the stars around that, and they could barely make out the ring coming around the sun. Even if they could see it, I don't even describe it because I don't think they could see it. But anyway, so they made it to the entrance, and this entrance turned out to be and made it to the cavern, which was just really made of piled up stone and stuff. Not artificial, just love age. And then they made it to, and then they continued walking for like an hour or two, till they got to space loading, section 6 space loading dock, or space dock. And it turns out that they were on a ring world, not a Halo ring, of course, which is a small ring that orbits around a gas giant. But no, they were made to a ring world, which is a stellar ring world, is what we could probably call it, where it's the ring that orbits around the sun. And they move inside. And then move inside, realize that the armor kind of OP because these are, I want to say, Era 8 people. And these are more or less Era 8 people. And, I mean, this is like a total this is a scenario I got from Stellaris, by the way. A Paradox 4X strategy game in space. Which that's also middle distant feature too, for the most part, because it ends in the year 2000. It ends in the year 2000, but I guess it goes from middle future to distant future over the course of the game. Early to mid, it's middle future. Mid to late, it's distant. If we were to use my eras for that game. But anyway, so now they're down the space dock, and Gremlin decided to go off and dismiss the guards, take some XP off them, 100 XP each, which isn't a lot in the game. It's a lot. It's both a lot and not a lot. It's a lot on the scale of buying stuff. It's not a lot on the scale of buying a vehicle or ship or anything like that, or a building. Or city or anything like that. It's small on the more grander scale, but on the stuff you can get at starting, which is anything in the book really, if you can afford it. It's a lot. Could you start with, because the humans start with 60, and that's, or even start with 30 now, I believe. Even start at 30 now, actually, let me look. And he even started at 30 now. And he was getting 100 XP off of each card by just stealing their wallets. And he was also able to tie their shoes. Some got it, some didn't, some tripped, some didn't. But it was causing distraction, and he didn't get caught or anything. And the dwarf and the vampire were able to make it to the princess, who was being counseled, let's say, by the tax collector of a galactic empire, or so he said. I'm not quite sure if that's true or not, especially given the Stellaris situation that we got this from. But anyway, I'm pretty sure the tax collector would like to tell people that he's part of a galactic empire. And there were enough guards there for that to be true, but they were in again more basic armor for the setting for that era. They also had laser guns. Each laser gun, if I remember correctly, had 10 rolled 10d6, probably had on 2s, and had ammo, and had like 30 ammo before they had to be cooled off. And the laser gun and the laser rifle had mile range, or at least pistol had more like 500 meter slash yards. So yeah, effectively unlimited in the space dock. Well, anyway. So they found the princess. The dwarf was able to sneak up behind them and threaten the tax collector. Once he had the guard escort the princess back to her cell. And he was able to have a conversation with the tax collector and start initiating a plan. And this end plan was to have guards coming from the outside with the princess, and they were supposed to intercept them. And it got a bit more complex later on, but for right now that was the plan. And then the gremlin decided to go after the bank where the taxes were being held, realized they was going into the bank, but decided to find a truck to hijack. So they swapped his armor in the speed mode to go on to find the truck, got in the truck, defeated the driver, grabbed the truck, and started heading back to the bank. Back in the tax collector's office, the tax collector, being a total coward, gave in completely. And just kept calling guards from the snatch pistols off of. Or calling in guards, and then our hero, then the vampire moved out. The vampire, and also there's a crystalline person there too. Person in our crystal. He joined them on the way to the place, by the way. And they were defeating guards and oh no, wait, there's an important bit that I missed. During the defeating guards bit, the dwarf told the tax collector to move the princess out of the space dock to the space dock entrance to the cave. So that's what they were doing, and then they were defeating guards with their swords, which was comical. Which by the way, the gremlin used a dagger which he got off a previous mission. The vampire was using a meteor iron sword, and the crystalline guy was using, of course, his heritage crystalline double two-handed sword. And I'm okay. I do forget what the dwarf was using. Maybe it wasn't anything special. I don't know. We had the meteor iron sword, and the daggers were from another vampire who was leading a charge into a dwarven kingdom. Who was leading an undead rush into a dwarven kingdom, and they were able to essentially defeat. They were essentially given the place where they could be defeated by the dwarven kingdom, or the dwarven empire, I should say. That's down to its last keep. Which they wanted to continue doing that storyline, but not everyone was there, so they decided just to do the new mission. Which is a nice thing with the tavern, by the way. I love the tavern so much. If the tavern allows you to just stuff from mission to mission and not be too lore friendly. So I need to do more. I need to write down more characteristics of the tavern as well. And that's pretty much that. The vampire, the dwarf, and the crystalline person were escorting the tax collector out to the entrance, and we're killing all the guards on their way, who still were there. And then they got to the entrance, saved the princess. And also now back at the vault. Now back with the gremlin in the truck. He got back to the vault, grabbed some more goodies, including an artifact of the kingdom, which they were able to return. Which now they had the princess. They saved the day. They returned the princess. They returned the artifact. They returned to the tavern. They got a level up from it, and they got 10 level up tokens so they could level up. Which of course level up tokens are not cheap in order to level up. And yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Not great. I admit that wasn't the greatest story I've ever told on this channel, but I need to do them. I need to do them the night of, or the morning after I record them. Jeez. That I actually do them, but still. But anyway, so yeah, that'd be us for now. Thanks for watching. Again, you can find the new update for sure on itch.io, and a new physical. And also remember, the new physical version of the book will be out by July. So if you want to get this version of the book now, Actually, do I need to cut production of the first book? I don't think so. Yeah, why would I need? I mean, why would I need to cut the production in the first book? I think you should cut production in the first book. But anyway. Yeah, it'd be a lot less confusing. And the physical books are just meant for people who want the physical book anyway. You can always get the early versions of the game on the itch.io or off the Google Drive. The Google Drive has all the really old versions. itch.io only has the versions that I've uploaded to it since I started uploading to it. But anyway. Alright, so that'll be our first video. Thanks for watching. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed recording this one. Of course, like I'm always just I would rather be watching YouTube or something than record, but you know. I mean, I can always just test something on. I can always just be. Sorry, each year. I can always just have something on my phone. Oh, which by the way, that's my new S24 Ultra. Let me know how it came out, how this video came out. And I'm using my mood lighting, my night lighting, which is all my lights on candle except for one over there, which is blue. I max blast, and the candle lights are on very low setting. But anyway. It looks good from where I'm setting. And maybe I need one like right over there. Like one on that table for you to enjoy, but anyway. Alright, that was the video. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you watching on this video. Please also check out stuff in the description below, such as Stellaris Halo sports channels, watching new videos. You need to contact your friends and make sure your friends are this job. Alright, this video. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I do want to do more RPG stuff on the channel, or more tabletop gameplay stuff on the channel, even if it's just me just rolling dice and just play my game, rolling dice and just playing a really light version of my game, or we just go on an adventure. Imagine that. Imagine just grabbing some dice and just going. Imagine that. That would be actually pretty fun. I'm pretty sure you can do that. Because one of the downsides of my game, as it turns out, has been how long it takes for character creation. It's not too bad. It takes roughly between 10 minutes to an hour to do one character, depending on how much thought you put into it, or what kind of items you give them. Completely depends. It's that big of a range. No, I guess normal is 30 to 40 minutes per character. And that's also starting from brand new. Like these, like I Have a Room is not a micro game. It's not one of my one-page games. No, it's not a strategy by any means of the imagination. But by any length of the imagination. But anyway. Alright, that's that'd be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I guess see you in a second.